Welcome back to Major Misconduct. I'm Scott. He's Curt. We have been talking about the National Football League live from the Sal's here on Leela in Winnipeg on a very lovely late January morning.
Oh, lovely.
And we have just watched two National Football League Conference Championship games. We have just discussed the fact that the New England Patriots didn't play very well, but they're still going to the Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers are another team that probably deserve to be going there, and they deserve to be going there because of one play. With 2:21 left to go in the fourth quarter, Ahmad Bradshaw fumbled the football. San Francisco recovered, and the Giants got the ball back. It was one of the most horrendous calls I have ever seen in football history, and we have seen a ton of horrendous calls this year. Last week it was against the Giants when clearly Green Bay fumbled. The Giants recovered and they gave it back to Green Bay. This week, the same kind of mistake. It was a horrible call. Sorry, San Francisco should have been 1st and 10 at the Giants 21 with the score 17-17 with 2:21 left in the game. It looked like a fix to me.
Well, I don't know if the word fix would be appropriate, but I do know that it did look like a fumble, and you can see the replay.
Fix, fumble, all the same thing.
Yeah, no, it was a fumble.
If you look at
how
this
they could miss it,
replay,
I don't understand that. I really don't understand
If you look at this replay, there is no question. There is no knee down. Now, are you saying because his knee was on the other player? Fine. I've looked at it again.
The
you
ball
can
was
look at
loose
it again.
before
the ball
he
was
made
loose.
contact with a player beneath him. So, yeah, it was a fumble.
No question about it. It should have been San Francisco ball. Harbaugh has a right to be upset about the call. It was an absolutely horrendous call. And having said all that, San Francisco should be in the Super Bowl against the Baltimore Ravens. It is the most incredible miscarriage of justice I have seen in the NFL in years.
On the other hand, people often talk about offense and defense, and I always thought I was a big fan of offense. But that game yesterday was a defensive battle from beginning to end, and it was a classic. I thought it was a tremendous football game. You get into overtime, and teams are punting it back and forth. I mean, it was a game that the defense was the difference, and of course, ultimately, Williams dropping the ball.
Well, I'm not so certain it was the defense that was the difference, but this time, and every coach I ever had in high school and college all said the same thing to me. Special teams are called special for a reason. Special teams are important. What decided that game? The fumble by Williams on the punt return, and then the field goal, this time not missed, from 31 yards by Lawrence Tynes to send the Giants into the Super Bowl again. Tynes, there was no problem, and that was a worse snap. Tremendous play by the holder on that play to get the one hopper, pick it up, get it set, and let Tynes kick it through. But the reality is the special teams ended up being the difference in that
The special teams wound up being the difference, not Eli Manning, and yet we'll hear for a long time how Eli Manning led the New York Giants into the Super Bowl. And I watched that game, and Eli Manning may have been a slightly better quarterback than Alex Smith was, only because when he had the pressure on him, he was able to get rid of the ball. But they had a hard time creating any momentum, getting any first downs. Late in the fourth quarter, they had how many chances? And you think, well, this is Eli Manning. Something's going to happen. He's going to get his team down there in the field goal range. He couldn't do it. They couldn't do it in overtime. The only reason they did it was because Williams dropped the ball.
A fumble cost San Francisco the game. Not getting the fumble cost San Francisco the game.
Yes.
I thought they got hosed. I think they got hosed. Completely hosed by the officials.
You think, therefore,
I blame it on
that
the
it
officials.
should be Baltimore against San Francisco?
I absolutely believe
in
it
the
should be
Super Bowl.
Baltimore against San Francisco in the Super Bowl.
Well,
Baltimore
I agree.
played a better football
I
game.
agree with you on Baltimore and the San Francisco thing. I mean, who knows? Yeah, if the right call had been made there, you're right. They get an opportunity to go in and win the football game. San Francisco does, but then maybe we do see some Manning magic. The game wouldn't have been over.
Now, one more question about Eli Manning.
Okay.
Is he now better than Peyton?
No.
Okay, why?
I think Eli
He's
Manning
7-3
is
in
good.
postseason. Peyton's 9-10.
I don't know. When I look at what happened in Indianapolis this year, how can one team go that far down, missing one player? I think the proof is in the pudding. And if he comes back next year and they come back to anywhere near the level they were before he went out, then I think that proves he's good.
Well, the real question is, does Peyton Manning play in Indianapolis next year? If they draft Andrew Luck, do you let Peyton Manning go? Manning gets a $28 million bonus July 1.
Which is
I believe
ridiculous.
It's July 1. Do you think they'll have him out of there before July 1?
Well, yeah, if they have total faith in Andrew Luck, I know there's two schools of thought on that. One is it's good to have a guy to mentor Luck, but a $28 million teacher is is a lot of bucks.
It's an awful lot of money. We're going to come back, talk about some other teachers. There have been some guys in the National Hockey League as we approach the All-Star game who have been brilliant this year. Curt and I are going to talk about them. We'll be back with the NHL. You're watching the Major Misconduct